Hello and welcome back. In this session, we will be looking at how you can create a billing alarm. Now, in the last session, we have already looked at your alarms, CloudWatch alarms. So we know that when we talk about your monitoring in AWS, CloudWatch is a service that we have, and then we can make use of your CloudWatch to create alarms that can be used to monitor certain metrics, and then we can also take actions if required. Now, in this particular session, we'll talk about how we can utilize this CloudWatch alarm to monitor our AWS cost, which is creating our billing alarm. Once again, before I start off with the session, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So, like I said, we can make use of your CloudWatch to monitor the AWS charges as well. Now, why is this important? This can be important when you have certain budget for your monthly expenses when it comes to the infrastructure on AWS. And if you want to keep a track of it, if you want to get notified for a certain threshold, we can make use of your billing alarm for that. So, CloudWatch will also help you to monitor your charges, your AWS charges, that the resources that you've been utilizing in AWS. So when you enable this monitoring of your AWS estimated charges, the estimated charges are basically calculated and then they are sent to the CloudWatch as a metric several times on a daily basis. So once we enable the uh, estimated charges alarm that we want to monitor, what happens here is your AWS will start sending that data as a metric to your CloudWatch to monitor that. All right. So now these billing metric data that we have, all this data will be stored in the US East region, and this represents the worldwide charges. So basically, we know that your AWS has multiple regions, right? So we have different regions, but all the charges for all of these regions will be stored in the US East region, which basically represents your worldwide charges. So the billing metric will be available in the North Virginia region. So this data, it basically includes the estimated charges for all the services. It could be your EC2, it could be your VPC, it could be Route 53. So all the services, it includes the estimated charges for that. And in addition to that, it also has your estimated overall total of your AWS charges. So basically, it's your billing information that gets stored as part of your billing metrics. All right. Now, the alarm, so we have the option of monitoring this billing metric, and then we can also set a threshold and we can create an alarm for this. So the alarm triggers whenever the metric goes above the threshold. For example, let's say you have set $100 as your threshold, and whenever your the current cost goes above that threshold, the CloudWatch alarm will be triggered. So there's always a threshold that you will be setting, and whenever the metric data goes above that threshold, the CloudWatch alarm will be triggered. So it triggers only when your current billing exceeds the threshold. So this is generally at a monthly basis, your monthly cost that gets calculated, and it will be your current billing. For example, let's say till date, for the current month till date, if you have exceeded the threshold, then the alarm will be triggered. It does not use the projections for the month. So it does not assume the charges for the entire month. It's always your current usage that gets calculated as part of your billing metric. All right. So whenever we create your billing alarm, at the time when your charges have already exceeded the threshold, the alarm will immediately go to the alarm state. All right. So basically, what happens here is we create a CloudWatch alarm which monitors our billing metric, and if the billing metric goes above the threshold, the alarm will transition to the in alarm state, and then it can take the action that you have defined. Now, before you can create this alarm, there is a prerequisite that we will need to do, which is we'll need to enable the billing alerts. So by default, you don't get the billing metrics, the billing metric data. You will need to enable it. Only then you will be able to receive the billing alerts. Only then CloudWatch will be able to monitor the estimated AWS charges and then create an alarm using that billing metric data. All right. Now, after you enable the billing alerts, you cannot disable it. So another important point to remember is you can enable the billing metric, but then you cannot disable it. So once you have enabled it, there's no way for us to disable that billing metric. But you can delete any alarms that you have created for the billing metrics. And after you have enabled the billing alerts, you'll have to wait for about 15 minutes before you can view the billing data and then start setting the billing alarms. So if you're doing it for the first time, once you enable the billing alerts, you'll have to wait for 15 minutes. Post that, you will be able to see your billing metrics and you can start creating the alarms. So that's about your introduction or understanding your billing alarm. Now let's see an example for this. Like I said, the first thing that you'll have to do is you will need to enable the billing metric, right? So that your CloudWatch can start collecting that information and start monitoring it. So how do we do that? You can head over to, you can click on the username, and here you should be able to see your billing and cost management. Click on that, and on the left hand side you can scroll down and you will see this billing preferences. Click on billing preferences, and here you see this option, CloudWatch billing alerts. This is what we will need to enable. Now in my case, I've already enabled it, but if you're doing it for the first time, you can go to edit, and you should be able to see a checkbox over here. So in my case, I've already enabled it. So okay, like I said, once you enable it, you cannot disable it, right? So in my case, I have already enabled it, so that's why I'm not able to disable this. But if you're doing it for the first time, you can go ahead and check this and click on update, and that should enable the billing metric data, and your CloudWatch should be able to get the information. And if you're doing it for the first time, you'll have to wait for at least 15 minutes before you can create the billing alarm, and you can start monitoring it. In my case, I've already enabled it, so we'll go ahead and create our billing alarm. So how do we do that? We'll head over to the CloudWatch service, and we'll go to the alarms. So we'll go to alarms. So let's go to all alarms, and we'll create an alarm over here. Now what is the metric that we are looking? So we are looking for the billing. So here you can see, if you're not able to see this option, so either you have to wait for 15 minutes or you have not enabled the CloudWatch billing alerts. So you need to first enable the billing alerts and then again wait for 15 minutes. So in my case, it's already enabled, and I did this way long back. So we'll click on that, and we are looking for the total estimated charge. So I want the overall cost. So we'll select that, and it's gonna be in dollars. So we'll select this metric. So I'm telling that this is the metric that I wanna monitor. So this is this blue line that you see, this is my current cost. All right, so till date, whatever the cost I have, it is basically showing that. Okay, so what are your conditions? So we're gonna look for a static value, and whenever my estimated charges are greater than or equal to, so for the sake of example, I'll set it to $1, but again it's up to you. 10, 20, 100,000, you can set it whatever you want. So here you can see this red line that you see, this becomes my threshold, and the blue line that you see here, that's my current usage. All right, so whenever it goes above the threshold, what do you want to do? What is the action that you want to take? So I want to change the alarm to in alarm state, and I want to send out a notification. There are a few other actions that you can take. You can trigger a lambda function, you can take an auto scaling action, you can also do a systems manager action, but in our case we are going to trigger a notification. And we have already created a topic. If you remember the CloudWatch alarms, we already created one, so we are going to use that. So let's say we'll use this monitor EC2 CPU. Okay, and this is the end point. This is where I'll be receiving the notification. Then next we give it a name. So let's say monitor AWS charges. You can give whatever you want, and then we'll set a description for this. Next, we review this. All right. So there's my threshold, there's my current usage, that's my condition, the action, and that's my name and description. And then click on create alarm. And this will create a billing alarm for us. Now we have created for the just now, so this will take some time. So you can say as of now this is in the insufficient data state, but if everything goes well, this should transition to the okay status, because our current cost is way below $1. So whenever it reaches that threshold, this will change to in alarm state, and it will send out a notification for us. Now what does your notification look like? So here is an example of the billing alarm that you will receive. So whenever this goes above the threshold, in our case, the action we have set is to send out a notification, and this is the notification that you will see. So you can see here you're receiving this email because your estimated charges are greater than the limit you have set for the alarm in this particular account. So the alarm limit you set was $1, and your estimated charge for the current period is so much as of so and so date, and it has certain other information. So basically this way I can understand whether my charges, my usage is going above the threshold that I have set. I can get all that information. Right. So this is basically what your CloudWatch billing alarm can be used for. So this can be used whenever you want to monitor your cost, your billing cost. We can make use of your CloudWatch billing alarms for that. That's all I have for this session. Thank you. Once again, before you leave, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you like the video, leave a like and please share the video.